I'd like to call to order the Romeo District Library regular board meeting. It's May 10th and it's 7 o'clock. Mike Arce is not here. He's not feeling well. He has stomach something. So anyway, shall we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I see we have no public participation. So could I have a motion to approve the revised agenda?
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. And then could I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Could we have a roll call on that?
We've got on this other side, so you're going
I know, I'm nowhere.
Elizabeth Miller,
Yes.
Shavito Smith,
Yes.
Leanna Miller,
Yes.
Grandstaff,
Yes.
Marina.
Yeah.
Okay. Zipping along to the director's report.
Yes, for community outreach, the library and the library van were at Springfest last weekend, so a week and a half ago now, I guess, in downtown Romeo. The weather wasn't ideal, but there was a new pop-up canopy with the RDL logo.
It looks so good.
Does it look nice? We have two just in case. We're also officially registered now for the Children's Parade for Peach Fest. Facilities, we've been really busy. The painting at Kezar will start May 31st. We have officially selected the colors. They're going to be slightly different from the current colors.
Can you divulge?
I don't remember the names of all of them, but the where it is plum now, which is the most prominent color on the painted parts, is going to be a deep ocean blue, sort of. And then there will be a colonial yellow for an accent, and then a gray-brown kind of color that matches the brick. So it should look really nice. They're going to do it all in 10 days. Kezar's going to be closed for, I think, 2 days, because they have to fix cracks in the ceiling and spray the ceiling, and we don't want anybody in there while they're spraying. Kezar will also be getting their chairs reupholstered within the next couple of months. It's going to happen within the next 6 weeks or so. We're going to get it done this fiscal year. We're going with Romeo upholstering, and the fabrics have been selected. We just cut the check today for the deposit on that, so that's moving right along. The rooftop unit finally is being shipped to System on May 16th, which is next Tuesday. And we're working with them to schedule the installation, which includes a crane and all of that jazz. So they said that it would be in before we need the cooling, but we could use it today, so we'll see. We're also going to be getting cameras for the exterior of both libraries this summer for the safety and security of our patrons and staff. So they will be on all of the exits and then pointing toward the park as well.
Oh, nice.
So
Do we have any cameras in the parking lot?
none. So this will cover part of the parking lot too. So the holds lockers are now working, but we're still working out some of the bugs. We're going to have a press release next week, and we're going to be posting information on social media about it. So.
Yeah. Do you have any concerns about the little canopy in the winter when there's snow on it?
No, because they have those same lockers, that same system configuration has been in libraries in Minnesota
Oh, really?
and has done very well
I remember that
there.
from your presentation.
So, yeah,
Because that looks,
it looks a little flimsy, doesn't it? Yeah.
I was kind of tapping on him. It is
Were you doing
thin,
pull-ups
but
on
maybe
it?
it's.
But I think because it's slanted, it's not,
well,
if it were flat, we would have a problem. But
we still might have a problem.
yeah, we'll see. We're also looking into getting a kiosk that distributes tablets or laptops to patrons so they could come up and scan their card and it would unlock a device and they could go anywhere in the library with it and read the newspaper or go online or whatever, sit in the teen section, because there's no computers in the teen section right now. I get comments on that in the suggestion box.
Those don't leave the library, is that correct?
No, they are set up so that they will only work when connected to our Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So once they're out of range of our Wi-Fi, they're no longer
So they'd be
operable.
no good to,
Yeah.
okay.
And they have to have a library card to check them out, so we'll know who has it, and we can follow up with them
Okay.
if it disappears.
Is it, I'm so sorry, is
Yeah.
it one item that you're?
No,
using?
we have a sample of one right now. We have the machine, and it's like the size of a small desk, and it's got 6 tablets that go in the top of it. And when you put it back in, it's locked in there until you scan a library card again, but it also clears it back to original settings. So any work you've done, any pages you visited are cleared. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. For Michigan Library Association, I attended Michigan Library Advocacy Day in Lansing on April 25th. It was an interesting day. We all wore matching t-shirts and we talked to lobbyists and senators and representatives and staffers, and we discussed the biggest concerns for public libraries in Michigan. We talked about MLA is asking for a one-time contribution to infrastructure improvements to library buildings because there hasn't been anything like that in a while. So they're asking for one chunk of money, a one-time thing for that. We're encouraging them to maintain state aid where it is, at the very least, and then the possibility of an adjustment to the Headley Amendment, so that when, because right now with Headley, it rolls back, or it doesn't roll back, that's the wrong word, it adjusts the millage rate for inflation, but when there are recessions, it doesn't make any adjustments, and that's what we are asking them to look into. There were about 150 librarians there. It was rainy and cold, but it was a really good event. It was very interesting. There were some trustees there as well, so next time we do it, if somebody wants to come with me, that would be great. Tomorrow I'm going up to Boyne, Michigan, Boyne Falls, Michigan, for the next Think Space program. We have national speakers that come in and talk to us about the First Amendment and intellectual freedom and all that stuff. The Great Michigan Read is a program through the Michigan Humanities Council, and the book for this year is the award-winning novel Firekeeper's Daughter. The author, Angeline Bouley, will be making 6 stops on a statewide tour in September, and the Romeo District Library is one of the stops. We're the location for southeastern Michigan. The program is going to supply free books to the library so we can have book groups about it. And they'll also bring the author here, who's pretty big time.
Yeah.
She's coming here at no cost to us. So put Thursday, September 28th on your calendars. Her follow-up novel, Warrior Girl on Earth, was released last Tuesday, and I just started reading it. It's amazing. It's set in Sault Ste. Marie, and it's very, very good. Anyway, I was really excited about that. I thought there was no shot at us. I thought, I'll ask and we'll see. And then I got an email that said, hey, you get to be it. So, yeah, it should be good. I've received really positive correspondence from patrons about 2 of our employees, Dominic and Emily, and have included them after this report. They're a nice reminder of how valuable our staff are and how the library is only as good as the people who work in it. For donations, we received another donation from Ally Financial for Mike Arcee's volunteer hours. We've also received many checks totaling almost $700 in memory of Shirley Dietland, who had been a regular user of the library. She's apparently a former winner of the summer reading prizes as well. And Linda's been in touch with her daughter a lot about making sure that she gets thank you cards out to everybody who has donated, and that's been a good thing. Before I get to upcoming programs, you may have noticed a large piece of artwork on your way. That's through a program with the DIA, and Washington Township secured that for us. So that went in last week, and it's lovely. And then the other big exciting thing out by the front walk is our little free library, which went up yesterday. And it looks like a large birdhouse. And it's full of advanced reader copies that I get from publishers. I have too many of them in my office right now.
Oh, I know where I'm stopping.
So I already had to put 5 more books in there today after having filled it yesterday.
Wow.
So that's going well, and we're The Little Free Library is a national organization that's copyrighted or trademarked. And so we're on their website and their app as a location, and it explains what's available in our Little Free Library, so that's kind of cool.
And I'm sorry, is it take one, bring it back? Or did you say you?
We don't want you to bring anything back.
Yay.
We'll keep restocking. If people bring things and leave them in there, we'll probably put them in the book sale.
But there's other little free libraries.
They're
So
all over
if
the
you take
place.
one, you can bring it somewhere else.
Yep.
I mean, you don't have to.
Yep, pass it along.
Correct.
Yep. For upcoming programs, there's a genealogy workshop Saturday, May 13th at 11 a.m. in the archives. There's a William Kent Kruger watch party. He's one of the online authors, and they're going to do a watch party together at Kezar on May 16th at 6 p.m. Thursday, May 18th is the Phil Hale Jazz Trio at Grosvenor at 7 o'clock. Puzzle Day is Saturday, May 20th at 1 p.m. at Grosvenor. That's always a good event. Family movie trivia. We're not allowed to call it by the name of the company that all the trivia is going to be about because they have many, many lawyers. So, but that's going to be May 25th at Grosvenor at 6:30. And summer reading kickoff / field day is Monday, June 12th at Grosvenor all day. That's a Monday. It's the first Monday of summer break for our Romeo Community Schools kids. And it's going to be outside. They've got all kinds of stuff planned for the lawn. And if you get a chance to stop by to see the crowd, you should. It should be a pretty good deal. And then story times and regularly scheduled teen programs are also offered throughout the month.
Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
In last month's meeting, you did the strategic plan update, and I unfortunately wasn't here, but you mentioned something about the ILS system getting integrated with Savannah, that there were issues. Did
Yes.
that get resolved?
Not yet.
Mm.
Not yet. Polaris is our ILS, and that's for all of the shared libraries or the shared catalog libraries in the Suburban Library Cooperative. The list of problem tickets that they have in Polaris is huge right now, and this is one of them. It's getting up to the top of the list, but we're not there yet.
Wow.
It's very frustrating.
Oh, I bet.
So.
Anyone else have any questions for Claire?
I do. So you talked about the chairs that are being upholstered,
Yes,
and how is that paid for? Is that in our budget? What
it is.
Okay.
It is. We have a bit of a surplus in this fiscal year. We've got some money that we need to spend, and it's going to total about $6,000.
And that's what, $6,000, that's what you're saying is gonna cost to upholster?
I believe it's 64 and change,
Thank you.
6,400 and change. So we just paid 32 something.
And I think we've been talking about doing that for at least 10 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's how long we've been talking about
It's overdue.
redoing the furniture there.
It's overdue. And Stacy would love new carpet, but she acknowledges that just because she doesn't like it doesn't mean it needs to be replaced because it's still in good shape. So the fabrics that have been chosen for the new upholstery match the carpet that is there. So it should look pretty nice.
Okay, thank you. I do have one quick question. I know that, when you're talking about the Michigan Library Association, I know we've had wonderful government officials who have been very supportive of the library. And I'm not sure if some of them have retired or left office. Do we continue to still have good advocates?
We do. There are a couple of legislators who are now in office from various parts of the state who are really interested in making sure that libraries are protected. They acknowledged us in a Library Workers Appreciation Day or something like that. They voted for that the day we were there.
Nice.
So that was lovely. But there's some of the legislation about where guns are allowed. There's a bill that is up for a vote soon that'll be banning weapons in public buildings, but libraries weren't included in the list, so they are now included on the list. So we'll see if that gets put through. But yeah, but we do have several advocates. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, if there's no more questions, then we can move on, and there's no old business. Oh, I'm sorry,
No.
we're on president or trustees reports. Does anyone, we can start over here, do you have anything?
I don't have anything specific, although I did notice we've got a hefty cash position, and just wondered if we're looking at opportunities to get more interest now.
Yep.
since it-
I have a scheduled call tomorrow with our UBS rep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, even outside of UBS,
Mhm.
because with some other organizations I work with, we've been kind of pricing it out. And I don't know if we can do business with credit unions, but they have some flexible rate instruments. And the interest has been like over 5%.
Okay.
There's no early withdrawal
Right.
penalties or anything like that. So if it might behoove us, I mean, not to shop it out,
Right.
you know?
I know with Michigan Class we're getting 5.
Yeah, probably.
So, and I don't know about credit unions. I'm not sure. We'd have to check the.
Can we work with the credit union?
It's very restrictive.
Yeah.
I knew it, yeah.
I'm not positive. I
Okay.
haven't seen that we've ever done it.
Yeah,
I know we've gotten, well, through UBS, we have done CDs
yeah,
through state banks,
right.
but that's the extent of it.
Well, you
But
should
we
be
can
able to if
double-
they have commercial accounts, you should be able to.
We can double check.
Yeah.
I know a good one.
When we had our meeting.
Our special meeting.
Special meeting, for the, painting, I stayed and
Had coffee.
Yeah.
was part of or observed the, I don't.
It was a story time.
Story time.
Mm-hmm.
The librarian who does that has that was quite a task that
How many
she
kids?
pulls off.
How many kids?
I didn't count
I think that group has about 30,
Oh, my gosh.
plus all their caregivers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, I was sitting over to one side and I thought, boy, that girl earns every penny that we give her.
She keeps them engaged. All of our children's librarians do a spectacular job with story time, but you get to see a good one. So,
That was extremely interesting, and the kids, they had little songs or chants.
she does a lot of the story times have this repetitive songs.
Yeah,
So they do the same song every week at the beginning or the same song in closing every week or whatever, so the kids learn it and they know what it means. And
That's
but
fun.
I'm just saying, you know, I really, that's the first time I have seen the children's group, and they handle a lot in hour and a half, 2 hours,
Yeah.
whatever it was.
it's a goat rodeo, but she does it.
Uh,
It's a goat rodeo.
It, I do want to check out the teen group. I have enjoyed reading her comments,
Mm-hmm.
and she always seems to be coming up with something new every time. And I'm not sure when it is, but I would like to be able to set in sometime just to observe.
The key is we don't tell them ahead of time because they get nervous. So
I'm,
you just slip in and watch for a while and.
well,
There you
matter of fact, I don't think I even said anything to the children's.
She knew who you were.
Did she?
Yeah. She came and saw me right afterwards.
Well, I'm just wanting to see what some of the other things
Absolutely.
that we're doing for patrons. It's getting hard at night to get out and come to some of the jazz or the country or whatever it is. I did miss, I missed the Lincoln talk,
Oh my goodness, Bill.
but I do know Jerry, and him and I have had many discussions.
I bet. Anything else? Okay, I was wondering for the director's annual evaluation, if you received everyone's, okay, great.
They're in books for you to look at in our closed session.
Okay, sounds good. And, I guess that is it for me.
I do have a comment and a question.
Okay.
So I was picking up my board packet at Kezar, and I noticed a gentleman was picking up a whole stack of books. Question, is there a limit of the amount of books that you can get? And the other thing is, when you get a stack like that, when they're ready for you, is that something that's been ordered online? Or are you calling that in, or how do you get that many books at one time?
Could be any of those options. It could be that they put holds on them through the catalog and they all came in and that person waited until they got all their notices and then they came and got the whole stack of them.
Okay.
It could be that he called and said, I need the following 8 books, and they pulled them for him. It could be that they were interlibrary loans from around the state and they all came in.
Okay.
It could be a combination of the 3.
Okay, we don't have a limit though.
We do not have a limit. One of the reasons we don't have a limit is because of families with young children, and when they get 40 picture books, it's totally fine.
Gotcha.
And now that we don't have fines, they don't have to pay through the nose if they're 3 days late on 40 picture books.
Or they can't find it immediately.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
It's in the toy box and you change it out
Yeah.
in 5 years.
Under the car seat.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay, thank you.
Elizabeth?
I think just it was really great having the library as part of Springfest and having the van there right on Main Street was really nice.
Yeah.
And they were fabulous, and
Yeah.
they scooched the tent over because it was raining and some other kids' activities happened right next to it, so in front of the credit union, it was a great
Good,
activity center, so
good,
well done.
excellent.
Wonderful. So now we are on to old business, which we have none. So for new business, we have the presentation of the proposed budget.
This is gonna take just a minute to get this going, sorry.
Let me scooch. I can scooch.
Oh, I'm good.
You need to be able to see better.
It's like Mike is here when he's not here.
Yeah, there you go. Do you want any other lights off?
Yeah,
These 4
maybe.
lights, these 4 front ones?
Oh, look at that, we might just get this to work for you. Okay, what do you think, Carla, should we start with detail or dependents?
You might want to enable, do you have to enable that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know, do you want to give a brief overview and then go into the details, or?
Yeah. That works.
I concur with
Okay,
that.
so this is our proposed budget for fiscal year 23-24, starting July 1st. We start with property taxes. We're estimating the increase here. We'll have the actual numbers from the county in June. So we're expecting 2.5 million in property taxes, ideally. State aid, we had to maintain a conservative estimate, so we're at 112,500. Service fees, that's pretty much just for printing and copying. We're expecting about 3,000 there. This current year, we're projecting almost $3,000, so that's what that's based on. Book fines, we still collect book fines from other libraries. When other library books are returned here late from other libraries that do charge fines, we can collect the fines from them. And this year we collected almost 4,000, so we're estimating the same amount for next year. Penal fines are the fines that are collected from state cops so, and way stations. So we never quite know exactly what we're gonna get. So we're estimating 25,000 since we're getting about 24,000 this year. Interest income, we're at about 50,000 projected this year, so we're expecting something similar next year. Carla has done a lot of research to look at the numbers, and we're hoping for even more than 50,000, and we're gonna do what we can to make sure that we're getting as much as we can out of our position. Grants and gifts, we have down $10,000 because this includes money that we can get for an electric vehicle charger for the parking lot. Other, just 500 because this was forfeiture money from our MERS account, and we don't have any more forfeiture money, or there's very little left, so we're not expecting much there. And that puts us at $2,705,000 for total revenue as our estimate for 23-24. When we get to expenditures, salaries and wages, we're projected to finish under 900,000 this year, but with a 3% contract increase, plus some changes in employees, it's going to be at 1,015,000 and change. Then employee benefits has gone down because of the defined benefit contributions. We're not paying as much in those anymore.
So for some reason, you have a version.
This is the old numbers, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a version that's not the one we printed in the report, in here. But, I mean, it's only off by 23,000, so
Okay.
you get the idea.
Okay, and these are estimates, so,
And we're not voting tonight.
yeah, this is just us painting a picture for now. Contracted services, no, supplies, 49,000 because we're maintaining a similar level of expenditures. Contracted services, 178,000. Same thing we're trying to maintain. So marketing, outreach, and professional development, we have increased because we're focusing on marketing in the strategic plan, and we're also focusing on professional development a little bit more. So, and outreach, all three things are becoming more of an emphasis. Technology, our contract with SLC increases slightly every year, so we're estimating 114,000 just so that we're not estimating low. Building maintenance, we're expecting more projects as we have a 22-year-old building and things are starting to go and needing to be replaced, and so $65,000 there. Utilities, we're finishing at about 87, and so we're going to go with 105 to maintain similar levels. Other charges, including gas for the outreach van, $4,000. For library services and materials, This is programs and online services. We want to do more in the way of programs, since that was a big part of what Orange Boy told us. We'd like to do more programs during the day for seniors who don't want to get out at night, especially in the wintertime. So you're welcome, Bill. You just made me mention of that. That's the only reason I'm coming up. We have taken that up to 123,000. Capital outlay for collections, we increased as well because we're building our library of things. We've got a collection started in the back and we're gonna start cataloging those things soon, but there will be even more of that in the next fiscal year. For library improvements, including a needs assessment, new security, the cameras, and building improvements, we have put in $335,000. And we do not have any debt service. So that puts us at $2,477,000. So we are going to be finishing the year adding to our fund balance.
It's the 2.5 that we're seeing in front of us.
2.5, okay.
Yeah, it's 2.5.
All right, excellent.
Can I? Yours?
I think the printed
Okay.
one is the right one.
Do you benchmark other libraries, like our salaries and wages represent almost half of our total expenditure?
Percentage-wise, we're right on target. Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people think that most of our money comes from fines and fees, and that most of our money goes to books, but that's not true at all. So the general public doesn't necessarily know that our staff and the investment in them is our biggest expense, and that our income for us, because we're a district library, is mostly from property taxes. So.
Well, and the other one that we benchmark is 15% when you take like the library services and materials and other direct expenditures for the patrons is kind of the benchmark, and we
Right.
always take a look at that. We're always at that or above. So yeah, we do look at a few of them.
And then under building, I mean, we've already bought new air conditioners.
We're looking at a roof in the next 5 years.
A roof? Okay.
Yeah. And some other expenses like that. We have to continue to invest in our elevator so that we don't have to replace it completely, because replacing it completely would be a couple $100,000. And so we're trying to maintain all of those things so that it doesn't get too out of control.
Well, you could click on that capital
Yeah.
outlay.
We'll go straight to capital outlay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that kind of shows
Nice, yeah,
where the
definitely.
numbers are at.
So for renovations, exterior and interior, we're looking at improvements at Kezar, including a new rail on the porch outside, the painting, the elevator maintenance, LED light conversion is going to be, we plugged in $70,000 because that was close to the first bid we saw, and then we got the other one that we'll talk about in a bit that is less than that. We want to resurface the parking lot, and it needs to be redone and repainted and all of that. So we've got money there for that. And then the pine trees that got taken down for the sewer line, we want to replace those. And we'd like to get at least 20-foot trees so that they don't look silly next to the ones that are there. And so that we have some more privacy from the Art and Jake's parking lot. Not privacy, but a little more separation. There's noise from over there and all kinds of things. We've gotten several requests for regular swings. So we put that down, and then potentially design fees for a possible expansion. To get an architecture firm to do the design cost would be approximately $100,000. So. And then the security cameras, $30,000. I talked to the Audio Century. Now I can't remember his first name.
Mike Romano?
Yes, Mike Romano. Talked to Mike last week, and he's getting me a bid on that. So which would be nice because then it would tie into the current system that we have. And then the computers would go under primary operations. And right now we replace a third of the computer equipment every year. We're just on a regular rotation, and it's approximately $30,000. There's a chance that we'll not replace as many because not as many public computers are in use on a regular basis. Now people have their own devices that they come in with. So the laptop kiosk would be another possibility there for people to check them out and use them while they're here. Any questions about the capital outlay? Okay, let's go to detailed so I can tell you a few more. I already told you a lot of stuff, but let's see. So we break down property taxes by location, and Bruce Township, we're hoping for $630,000, and Washington Township, 1.87, for a total of 2.5 million. For state aid, shared revenue and grants, 12,000. Local community stabilization shared tax is 70,000. State aid, we're hoping for 30. That's based on census data. And then the Renaissance amount that we get is minor, but we're hoping maybe 500. Service fees, book fines, penal fines, and interest income I already went over in the condensed budget. And then donations, we're hoping for continued donations from private sources and friends of the library. Friends of the library, we may even get more than that. They have quite a bit, and they're asking us to get creative about what we ask for. So recently they paid for, we've paid for carpet squares for the kids to sit on in story time, so they have their own spot and they can stay there. Because the carpets that we had are not big enough for the crowds that we're getting now. So they have little squares that are theirs for their bottoms. And we got breakout boxes that are like escape rooms with puzzles that you have to solve to get all the way to the end. And the friends paid for those. And there's a few other projects that we're going to work on for them.
And they really prefer like fun projects that are tangible that people can see, and it just doesn't get absorbed into.
They do.
Yeah.
Oh, and a positive note from the friends as well. This doesn't have anything to do with our budget, but I forgot to put it in my director's report. 4 of our employees got scholarships for bachelor's degrees and master's in library science from the friends this year. So, yeah. So that's good. We're building more workforce, and that's fantastic. The donations from private sources, I'm also expecting one from the Kiwanis who want to contribute to the summer reading program because I think that's really important. So that'll be another one that'll probably come in this fiscal year. And that takes us to the 2.705. Is that what you have on your printed ones?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so expenditures, there's my salary and the department head salaries, and those are based on the 3% contract increase. Full-time staff has gone up because we now have the full-time outreach person. Part-time staff is the 3% increase. Marketing and public relations, she is working more hours dedicated to marketing. So that's why that goes up, and she gets a 3% increase as well. Sunday wages have stayed pretty much the same. And then substitutes, we have hired some additional subs that are filling in as needed and doing a wonderful job.
And what is the number of employees we have currently?
Counting the subs, I believe we're at 32, 34?
Yeah, it's right in there, 30, yeah.
We'll say 33.
I was gonna say 33.
Okay. All right. Benefits, employee benefits are pretty much set in stone for a lot of these.
Yeah.
So that comes up to $275,000.
Yeah, the biggest change really is the net defined benefit, but because we're fully funded, you know, we're no longer needing to make those larger contributions, which is a great thing to be able to claim for a governmental facility.
Yeah. And that is thanks to Carla's planning and math and attention to detail. Supplies includes office supplies, postage, tech service supplies and program supplies, and then operating supplies, and that comes to $46,000. It hasn't changed dramatically. It's gone up a bit, but everything costs more now. So, postage is more. We just saw that there's a new Tommy DePaula stamp with Straganona on it. I don't know how many of you remember Straganona. But we were commenting that it was 63 cents a stamp.
But your numbers are actually lower than last year.
they're lower.
Yes,
Not
but
higher.
they're lower than what our plan was for last year, but they're higher than what our projected ending balance is gonna be.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
No,
Well, plus our.
The projected balance
it's lower.
is lower, 36. The
Lower.
approved budget was 49 from
Right,
last year.
It's
Okay,
lower
got it.
than last year.
right.
Our current facilities contract manager, he has been cutting a lot of costs out
Yes.
of our expenses, which has been great.
He's changed our supplier for all of our bathroom and cleaning supplies, and we've saved
Wow.
a ton of money there.
Wow.
And, yeah, it's, he's
He does
really
a lot of
earning
the
his
stuff
keep.
on his own too, in terms of repairs and things.
Yeah.
He saves us money. I don't know that he pays for himself, I could probably quantify it, but he definitely saves us a lot of money.
For contracted services, we know exactly how much our audit's going to be, so we put that in there. Attorney fees, we're estimating 5,000, and we hope that there's no need to spend all of that. General insurance, that one's, we get the information from the agency and go with it. Memberships includes the state aid, half of state aid that we receive that we pay to SLC to be part of the cooperative. What's included in other fees, Carla?
It's very miscellaneous, like the renewal of the license plates for the van.
Oh, okay, okay.
Something very small.
Equipment lease is for our copiers, the 2 copiers here and the one, and 2 at Keysar. We have 2 here and 2 at Keysar, right? One in the basement, one upstairs, Linda?
Right.
Right, okay. One in the archives, not the basement.
Yeah.
One in the basement, it's the archives.
Lower level.
But
The lower level.
it also includes the postage machine.
The postage
And
machine.
the telephone.
Okay.
At least.
Oh, that's right, we have a lease on our telephones, equipment, yeah. Security and monitoring is at 6,000, that may go up with the cameras, but we'll see. Oh, the contracting, the maintenance services, he has asked for an increase in his hourly rate, and we have happily agreed to that. So, he was undervaluing what he was doing, in my opinion, so, there's gonna be a slight increase there. Cleaning, we've got a contract for him, so we know how much that's gonna be through 2025. And then the grounds maintenance, we've got a contract with a landscaper right now, but that expires in the spring. So we'll be going for bids, we'll be requesting bids on that soon. For marketing and outreach, we're increasing the newsletter and publications because of the direct mailings we're gonna be doing for the strategic plan. Marketing and surveys has gone down because the Orange Boy contract renewal is less each year. We paid the big chunk the first year, and then it's less the next couple of years. Continuing ed and staff and trustee training. I put more in that one because we have 2 librarians going to the American Library Association conference this summer in Chicago, and then the Public Library Association conference is going to be in Columbus, Ohio next spring, which will be a great conference, and I'm hoping to send some people to that. Until this point, we didn't have many people on staff who were excited about going to continuing ed, and now they're getting pretty jazzed about it, so I'm thrilled and want to reinforce that.
Sure.
So they'll come back with ideas and programs and new things that we can be doing at the library, and it'll be well worth it.
Well, that's already been paying off
Yeah.
since your employment, so, yeah.
Oh, good. Good. Technology is our ILS system, which is Polaris. Oops. And that's our contract with SLC, so we're expecting it to be right about $100,000. Computer support and software is our QuickBooks subscription and Adobe and that kind of thing. And then computer hardware, the non-depreciating computer hardware, which is things like scanners, I think, and some other things, like some of the smaller pieces of equipment that we have to get for the front desk and things like that. For building maintenance, we increased all of the categories because of the age of the building. We took down inspections and maintenance per Chuck's guidance because he has streamlined that process as well, so we don't have as much need there. And you'll see that last year we finished with $17,000 for inspections, and this year it was only $8,600 that we're projecting. So that's a good thing.
Wow.
But he's still getting them all done. But utilities, we're hoping that we've got the numbers right for those. It includes the monthly sewer bills. Let's see. Tax refunds, bank service charges, we don't pay any. Mileage, that's gone up, the federal rate has gone up, and we pay for gas for the outreach van as well. Legal notices and publications are for when we have to publicize the budget hearing, which will be in June, and things we have to put in the paper like that. And then programs, you'll see that that number is higher because of our interest in making sure that we're getting everything that the public wants so that we can get more people and especially non-users into the library. The keys, our programs and supplies budget includes the cost of the intern for scanning all of the, what's the name of the paper? It's not the Record, that's the current one. The Observer, thank you. Thank you. And it also is for the adult program includes the cost of the Speakers Consortium, the live author talks that are online. That's $3,500 a year. And then collections, we're increasing that just a little bit, but staying pretty close to where we have been. The Library of Things is now included in there. We have a line item for that so that we can continue to get those supplies, or those pieces of equipment. Capital outlay library improvements. Those are the ones that are listed on the page that we went over already. The swing set and the trees. I love that this is part of my job. So total expenditures is $2.2 million, which puts us at $500,000 into the fund balance.
Just not sure where those numbers came from, so the
No.
bottom line is.
They're not on yours.
$2,500,000 with a $200,000 net revenue.
Oh, good. I didn't like reading that 500,000 number out loud. It didn't sound right to me. Okay, so $200,000 is going to the fund balance.
Yes, 205.
Okay. So, one of the things we can do with the fund balance is create an assigned fund for building expansion, if that's what we decide to do. So, does anybody have any questions about the details?
I do.
Okay.
You're talking about the whole budget. I have a question on the whole budget, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to go back to the utilities, 84.
Yes.
I'm on page 25, and I'm under the water and sewer, the 8420 section. Is that the water and sewer bills that we would be getting quarterly?
Correct.
We get a
So,
monthly.
from Washington Township.
Okay, so we get them monthly.
Mhm.
And the anticipated cost for the whole year is $10,000.
Yeah, it
Water
will-
and sewer combined.
Yeah, so our normal monthly during the winter when we're not watering the grass and stuff, it went up $120 for the sewer. But the biggest cost is the summer months
We're kind of waiting to see what the summer months are gonna do.
But yeah, it's only like $210 a month from November to May, but then, you know, the summer months, it's expensive.
That's when the bulk of our,
We'll get a
Expensive.
$2,500 a month type bill.
Okay, so this figure could go either way, it could go up or down, possibly up.
You know, based on the history of our usage, it should be fine. I just don't know how the sewer plays into the new water.
Because
Like, I
that's
know
what I'm
my-
thinking with us being hooked up now to the sewer.
But I don't
Would
know
that
if we
make a
have a
difference?
separate, like, I know personally, like, I have a separate
Yeah.
meter that doesn't include sewer for
Right.
watering the yard.
The only way you'd have that here is if you've had that done recently, because you were on septic before, so you wouldn't have had a separate.
right.
Right, so when they did it, I'm not sure how that hooked up, if we have the separate meter or not, because obviously we just did
We
it.
probably would.
So, I mean, I guess in theory, if it wasn't separated, it could be a little bit higher. But
Okay.
we have a decent amount of room in there in the budget.
We tried to be pretty conservative about everything so that we wouldn't, you know, be going over a great deal on our expenses.
And then
So we may
that,
have estimated a little bit high on some things.
and if we have to do a budget amendment, we have that extra 200,000 cushion, so.
Okay. That's all my questions.
Anyone else? Any other questions or comments?
Well done, it's been, you know, years for me, and so it's been, you know, I never thought I would think that budget time would be a fun thing for me to review, but it has, it's very educational, and, you know, you guys do an amazing job, and it's exciting to hear how the changes with Chuck have affected
Yeah.
the budget, so to hear that come through the detail is interesting to me. I'm curious, there's no hurry for this, maybe sometime in this calendar year. But it would be nice to know, what did we used to pay, you know, for that position, plus all of what was under that chart, just as a comparison, just to maybe give more validity to his position,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
it'd be fun to meet him sometime.
Oh, he was here. We were here. He came to a meeting when.
Oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
I'll just have to show up sometime.
Yeah.
I'll see a van, when I see the truck out inside of Keys.
In the summer, if you see a Harley Davidson.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
And honestly, I can't speak for Carla, but this gets more fun and easier every year because we have our system down pretty well and we understand what our goals are and we work together really well and it's just, it's pretty easy to go through and she and I have similar philosophies about how we're spending our money, so.
Well, and then also this year, we were really focused on the strategic plan. So since you had it in place, we really just took all of that and said, okay, these are our priorities.
Right.
And this is where we're gonna put the most money.
Carla, how many years have you been doing this for the library?
I came in 18.
5 years. 5 years in March.
Well, yeah, because we came the same year.
We came the same year,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
that's right.
That's when everything turned around.
Anyone else?
I can remember we used to have, and Elizabeth will agree with me, just about every month we would have to do an amendment to the budget or move money, or you seem to have input from the department heads and everything is in one package, and I think we've had one amendment to the budget.
We do at least one every year.
Yeah, we had a few last year. We're close on one that we may have to ask for in June, but it won't be more than $10,000.
No,
So,
not after I bragged like
I know,
that.
I know. I looked at it for this month, but we're still under, but I'm thinking next month we may need to ask, but it's just not gonna be significant. We have a decent amount in revenue this year, so it's not gonna be a problem at all.
And we've gone to a category budget as opposed to a line item budget, which is how things used to be. But, you know, it's not abnormal to have to amend a budget, and, you know, it's a living document, so, you know, that's normal. We just haven't had to do that often, because you guys are so good. Oh, wow. Got right there.
That's way too, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Everybody's awake. Whoa.
Well, I'm gonna stay here.
Claire, I didn't, well, this is nice to see that Kezar's programs and supplies are separated. I wasn't sure if they were. I know I had
Yeah.
talked to Stacy before and she said, well, we're trying to stay within our budget for Kezar. And-
She's very careful with the budget. I have to applaud her. She's always right on. She knows where she is and she makes sure she doesn't go over, and
Yeah,
she's
she does. a
she's
great
very
job.
worried about it all the time.
Well, and they do such fantastic programs over there as well as here, of course, but if they, wanted to do more or
Mhm.
something like that, I'm sure that we, might support that, because it's just so fantastic. Anything else? Okay, then we're moving on to our next
Oh,
item.
actually, I'm sorry, could I ask a question?
Yes, of
So
course.
basically since we've just looked at this, there might be some minor adjustments to it, but otherwise, next month for the budget hearing, it should just be a simple discussion and then moving to adopt, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
And the numbers that we have in this packet are going to be the numbers, correct?
Yeah.
Because they were different than what was on the screen.
Yes, that's my error.
Okay.
Yeah, I opened an Excel file that apparently was the precursor to the one you got. Or something, yeah.
yeah,
But,
I know how
Yes.
that happens.
yeah.
Okay, so then we're moving on to the next item of new business, which is the nomination of officers. And
I believe that should say nomination and election. Sorry.
nomination and election of officers, that would make more sense. Okay, all right, so I wasn't here last time when we did this a few years ago, so I'm not exactly sure how we should run it, but I guess I will open up the floor to nominations, and I guess we'll just start with each office and see what we come up with. So, does anyone have any nominations or would like to nominate themselves for the office of president?
I do, not
Elizabeth?
myself. Not myself, I've done that enough. I would like to nominate Teresa Rito Smith for president. Mike's done a fabulous job the last 2 years. Bruce Township has not been represented in that role since 2009. So that we have not had that position be from Bruce. So if we were to try to have a
Yes.
rotating whatever, so that would be my suggestion on that.
Okay. Are there any other nominations?
I'll nominate myself. I'm interested in the role, so if Therese is not interested, I would be interested.
Okay, so, let's see.
Do we do this without Mike here?
We did it without Leanne last year and she got elected.
That's what happens when you're
So
not
watch
here.
out, right?
Yeah.
But Mike did convey to me that he would be, that we could go ahead and proceed with this and that he was happy to have someone else be president.
Okay.
Yes, because he also liked the idea of rotating and things like that, so. Okay, so I'm not sure if we vote on that office first or then we just have other nominations for the other offices.
Well, if
And then
somebody
we've
were to
got-
do a slate to say, I nominate this person to do that, you could do that all in one vote, but that's not how you started it. So you could just do it by, if you wanted to say, you could do it by each one.
Okay, so then we finish with this one? Okay, so, well, since we're on the president now, I guess we will vote to, guess it'll be a show of hands for our two nominees. One is Trace and the other is Joanne. So, the vote for Trace?
So are you gonna do a roll?
Yeah,
call?
can you do
What
a roll call?
Okay.
A,
Trace.
yay,
Are
or,
you interested?
I would do it, yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Elizabeth
I
Miller
didn't know that.
are
Yes.
you still interested?
and Cerrito Smith and Leanne Miller
Yes.
and Grandstaff.
I didn't hear.
For Trace.
For,
Trace
okay.
for president. I'm
All
sorry, I
right.
didn't make that clear.
Yes,
And
Yeah, I guess I'll support it as well. And then,
Okay,
Why not, we'll rotate from Washington to Bruce this time.
Okay, all right, then that motion and that election has passed. So Therese Servito-Smith will be president. Now we're moving on to, congratulations. Now we're moving on to the office
Excuse me,
of,
before we, so
Sorry.
that was, is that, how are we doing? Is this gonna be like a motion for all of them at the end? Because you made
That
the
would make-
motion,
that
you
would
did
make
a
sense.
nomination, but it's not really a motion. So
Yeah.
should we just get all the names down and
Okay.
then
That would
have
make sense.
a motion for,
sounds good.
For the
with
slate.
those
for
people.
the, okay.
That makes
Okay, so would anyone like to have a nomination for anyone for vice president?
I think you're doing just fine.
Anyone else like to?
Well, I would be interested. I'll move up from treasurer.
Okay, then I'm happy to do a different office if you are interested, which you said you
Well,
are.
and I'll just say, I'm actually looking to remain a trustee, so I'm not looking for any officer
Right.
position personally. And I don't, I think that so I'm just, if, in case that were to happen, I'm just letting everybody know I prefer to stay a trustee.
Sounds good.
Because I've done enough officer positions for years, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then Joanne is our nominee for vice president, and then we're looking for the office of secretary. Anyone have a nomination? I would do that one.
Leanne.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I nominate Leanne.
I can nominate myself, I suppose, if
Yeah.
people are in agreement with that. And then the office of treasurer.
I think probably Mike makes
I can
sense for
do it.
that, right?
I would
Okay.
nominate Mike.
Okay,
Yeah.
then we can nominate Mike.
Yep.
All right, so, does anyone, let's see, I guess I need a motion to accept the offices of Therese Servito-Smith for president, Joanne Marino for vice president, Leanne Miller for secretary, and Mike Arce for treasurer for the upcoming.
And are we going to do the two trustees at the same time? Or, no?
There's nothing you have to
Okay,
do for
okay.
us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
Bill, we're off the hook.
I didn't hear.
We're off the hook.
Okay.
Okay, so then the
Relax.
motion's out there, then we
Yes.
can, or somebody's
Yeah, I
gonna make the
came here
motion.
most
Yes.
of the time anyway, so.
So,
I can make that, I can
okay,
make that
thank
motion.
you.
I'll make a motion for the 2-year term for the Romeo District Library board positions, President Therese Servito-Smith, Vice President Joanne Marino, Treasurer Mike Arce, Secretary Leanne Miller.
okay. Well, I guess I will second that motion. So the motion passes. Oh, everyone has
I
to
think
say
We're
aye.
gonna do a roll call, yeah?
Okay, Elizabeth Miller?
Yes.
Servito Smith?
Yes.
Leanne Miller?
Yes.
Bill Grandstaff?
Yes.
And Joanne Marino?
Okay, great, motion passes.
Congratulations. Mike.
Yay, congratulations, everyone. Okay, I got a full schedule here. All right, next is the approval of the LED lighting for Grosvenor. So could I have a motion to, oh, I got myself lost. To approve, I'm sorry, what did you say?
I was just giving you the page number, but you got it.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the proposal from Sable Electric for a new LED lighting for $37,383?
So moved.
Are we gonna discuss?
We
it?
can make a
we
motion and then we
discuss,
discuss, yeah.
Yes. So I need a second, I believe?
I'll second.
Thank you. All right, so now we can move on to discussion of that.
Part of this is that we have all fluorescent lights right now. They are no longer gonna be able to be sold by law. So it's time for us to convert to LED anyway, we have to. So we're gonna be replacing everything with LED lighting, and Sable's proposal is retrofitting everything instead of putting brand new fixtures in. And which was what we asked for in the scope of work. So, and they had the lowest price, so that's why we're recommending Sable.
And they have insurance? I would like to see
Yes,
the
we have
insurance.
worked with them before and they're, yeah.
Okay.
So these other two quotes, we're gonna install new, and this is retrofit? That's the difference? Because it's like, how can he be half the price?
it's a
Right.
huge cost. We just had that
Yeah.
done in our offices and they said there's no reason to replace it all. You can just retrofit it. And they were done in no time. It's amazing how quick it was.
Yeah, it's probably, the installation of it is probably going to be like, when we got new carpet, they'll close an area at a time and work on that. And we'll, be able to go back and grab stuff from the shelves, or it won't be available that day or that afternoon or whatever, but
How long does that take to do?
a few days.
So what's the average life of these lamps versus what we currently have? Do you know?
I do
mean,
not know
when
that.
they talked about, you said in the interest of efficiency, so what efficiencies? Is it just longer life of the bulb?
It's less electricity, so our electric bills should go down. And then the bulbs last longer, but I don't know the details on how much longer they last. So,
If I could, speaking from when I worked at Hodges, we had a large warehouse, and they actually came in and replaced all of our lighting was fluorescent, and we were always having to replace bulbs and we had this company come in, and they were not there that long. They replaced just about everything. And the lighting was better. I wasn't complaining about not being able to see as well, and we had a sizable rebate because the large
This will-
facility.
we'll get a DTE rebate as well.
Yes,
about-
Yeah.
yes, that's what
Yep.
was
That's part of it.
involved, and our electric bill reduced considerably. So, I mean, when you have a large wholesale plumbing company with, I don't know exactly how big it was, but we had a couple guys that would do the afternoon exercise of running around the outside of the building, so they were getting some mileage out of running around. It was a big help, and it definitely showed up in our electric bill, and with the rebate and everything, and it was definitely worthwhile.
They said it's gonna be brighter,
Yes.
so.
Well, I
yeah.
have a question.
Brace yourself, yeah.
Because I saw on a couple of the other quotes, it said that they were dimmable. And are these ones dimmable?
No.
These are not, okay, because that's a big difference, because ours are dimmable,
Mhm.
and they're set at the lowest because they're so bright.
Right.
Well, if you've done any in your home, I bought
Oh, yeah.
some out in my house, and it's,
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the
Yeah,
nice thing is you could, anyways.
yeah,
Okay.
I'd like to make a comment if I could.
yeah,
At the company that I work for, we had all of our lighting in our facility, it's a manufacturing facility, changed out to LED. We did find a handful of people were getting headaches from the lighting.
wow.
Just keep that in mind.
okay.
If
Okay.
someone says, I'm getting a headache, don't be surprised.
It might be
It
that,
could be
yeah.
from the light. Now, I'm not
Yeah.
saying it is, it could be,
Yeah,
but we did have a handful of people that work in that lighting like 10, 12 hours that were starting to
Yeah.
get headaches from it.
okay, good to know.
So on that thread, if I may,
Yes,
do you know, it might be worthwhile to find out what it would cost to have the dimmable ones.
Well, I talked to
Okay,
the guys who came in for all of these.
okay.
And pretended like I knew what they were talking about. In a lot of the cases, they were talking to me with jargon that I just didn't quite get, so I asked a lot of questions. But they said one of the things you can do is just undo the bulbs.
Mhm.
If there's like two bulbs in that
okay.
fixture, you just take one of them out, and it's a little, because that's what we've done in my office with the current fluorescent lights. I only have a couple of bulbs in,
Mhm.
and yeah, we're gonna do the same thing.
And they won't smash the way that fluorescents do,
Right,
if you accidentally bump them.
right. So.
Okay, thank you.
So are you interested in asking them how much it would cost for the?
No.
Okay, we're
I'm good.
set then? Okay. So any other questions or comments on that, or shall
So,
we?
Yeah,
ahead.
just one, you're satisfied with just this one page, like the other ones at least said, you know, it's gonna take this long, we're gonna do this, we're gonna,
Yeah,
Because you've used it before.
are there other details that aren't included?
this is, the scope of work that Chuck gave them, which you all haven't seen, I'm sorry, is exactly this. So they answered exactly what we asked for. And the others went into great detail and wanted to sell us on bigger, more stuff. So,
And they will dispose of or
Yeah.
take away?
Right.
Okay.
take care of all that.
All right, then, I think we are ready to vote on this. So, can I get a motion? Oh, I do. Yeah, we already did the motion, so, all right, I guess we need a roll call to vote on this.
Okay, Elizabeth Miller,
Yes.
Trevino Smith,
Yes.
Leanne Miller,
Yeah,
Grandstaff,
Yes.
and Marino.
Yes,
all right, motion passed. And now, is there any public participation? There still is none. So, we need a motion to convene into closed section for the director's evaluation. Could I get a motion for
I'll
that?
make that motion.
Thank you, and I second it.
Second.
If I can, sorry, if I can. Oh, I did, okay, thanks. All right, the motion passed, so we're
You
going
want,
to,
you got to vote?
oh, can I get a roll call, please?
Oh. Elizabeth Miller,
Yes.
Trevino Smith,
Yes.
Leanne Miller,
Yes.
Grandstaff,
Yes.
and Marino.